Happy Halloween, everybody. We are here with our Halloween episode. Denver is silent if you're watching on YouTube because he is wearing a mask. Wait, I feel awkward talking to myself. I need you. Lift up the mask.
Hi. I love this thing. I'm
Did you
very
even
excited.
recognize us?
I just realized that we went all out with our Halloween costumes, but most people are on Spotify.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, we post on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah. If you guys are listening on Spotify and that's all you listen to, make sure you come over to YouTube and check out what our Halloween costumes are.
I'm Beetlejuice. Spoiler alert.
I'm Iron Man.
I love Beetlejuice. What were you going to say?
Yeah, you ready to watch the movie?
I haven't even watched the new movie, guys, but when I was a kid, I loved Halloween. Halloween was my favorite. I think I might have said this before. Halloween was my favorite holiday growing up. It wasn't Christmas. It was Halloween. Now it's Christmas, but I still love Halloween. Growing up, I would watch Beetlejuice probably 5 or 6 times every Halloween season.
Wow.
I loved it. Loved it. I haven't seen it in a while, though.
Well, now I got a new one.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I never overly loved Halloween. My parents used to throw me birthday parties on Halloween because my birthday was on Christmas. And I think most years I was just a dirt biker for Halloween. I just wore my dirt bike gear.
That's no fun.
Right? There's definitely no fun walking in motocross boots through a neighborhood trying to get candy.
You were committed to the bit.
Yeah, then my dad would bring my shoes, and then after a bit I would just change into my shoes. But I wear my helmet and chest protector and stuff. I grew up on a farm, so trick-or-treating for me is sometimes there was we would drive to our neighbors' houses. My parents would know certain neighbors that were doing trick-or-treating, and we would drive, and before we went into town, into the main subdivision, we would drive to the farmland neighbors that we knew who were doing Halloween.
Isn't that what they kind of do now though? What's it called?
Apparently now you have Walmart trick-or-treating where you go in the back of your car.
Walmart?
Haven't you seen those TikToks where the community will go sit in the Walmart parking lot and the kids will trick-or-treat to the back of people's cars because you're not supposed to go door to door anymore?
No, I haven't seen that. Interesting. Is that what? Oh.
I don't know. I've seen TikToks like that in certain communities. I feel like Halloween might be a dying tradition.
I was just saying to Denver yesterday that I can't wait to live in a house so that we have trick-or-treaters. But where we're going, there's not going to be any trick-or-treaters.
No, there's going to be no one. We're going more out in the middle of nowhere than I was growing up.
Great.
Yeah, I did live in a house in Newmarket one time, and one year for Halloween, it was underwhelming. I only had maybe 20 kids show up, and I had bought so much candy. And then at 8:30, this started to really spread out between started to be 20 minutes. I had a knocker at 7:30 and then 8. To the
That's
point where,
so sad.
Yeah, it was sad. I thought people trick-or-treat all night, but apparently the young kids who trick-or-treat, they trick-or-treat at 6 and then they're done.
Yeah.
So at 8:30 or something like that, I had these 2 ginormous bowls of candy, and this girl, I forget what she was, but she must have been 11 or 12, and she by herself, she came in trick-or-treating, and I was so surprised because I had started to watch Netflix, and I'm okay, I can't go upstairs or anything, I'm going to watch Netflix in case anybody else does come. And I was so excited when the doorbell rang. This giant Halloween bowl, so big, I poured the whole thing into her trick-or-treat bag.
That's awesome.
She lit up. And then one other kid came 10 minutes later, and I gave him the second bowl, and then I was out. And luckily, no other kids showed up. So thankfully,
lucky.
The timing worked out because it wasn't I gave away all my candy and then a bunch of kids showed up. I gave away all my candy and then nobody else showed up.
Love that.
It was good.
I was going to say something how old were you when you last trick-or-treated? Trick-or-treat.
I trick-or-treated in high school. I think.
Me too.
Grade 11, I think we went out.
Grade 10 was my last year.
Got all the weird looks. We just wanted some candy.
Yeah.
It was funny.
I remember going out up until 10 p.m.
I remember going out with my dad's friends and his kids who were younger, and I think I was grade 10 or something. And I just put a piece of paper sign, and it said "Nudist on strike," and I wore it around my neck.
Nudist on strike. So you were just wearing normal clothes.
I was wearing normal clothes, yeah.
You are such a Scrooge.
Well, that was I was just escorting the kids. I had, I wasn't going trick-or-treating for me.
Escorting the kids and you wore nudist on strike? I'm sorry?
Well, they were 12. They're two boys.
Come on.
I don't know what to tell you.
The deed has been done.
Are you guys ready for some classic Halloween stories?
I got some, like, Halloween-based Am I the Asshole stories, and then I also have some, like, kind of spooky-ish stories that take place on Halloween.
Okay, yeah. I have one spooky story that takes place on Halloween. I got a couple Am I the Assholes, a couple Today I Fucks Up, but...
Today I fucked up, too.
Yeah, if you guys enjoyed our last episode of spooky themes, this is not the same. This is designated Halloween night stories.
I will say a couple of mine are... One is, like, pretty spooky.
Well, Teresa loves the spookiness. Me, myself, I only have one spooky one that lined up with Halloween.
Fair enough.
But this is more for the trick-or-treating Halloween party type of stories.
And if you couldn't get enough of last week's episode, we have 8 more stories on our Patreon.
Yeah, that was a long Patreon episode, too. That was
7.
That was our longest full episode, that spooky episode.
4 hours.
It started just under 4 hours of editing. So that was crazy.
Yeah. It didn't even feel that long.
No.
Anyways, this is probably going to get to 4 hours too if we don't start.
This is a long intro.
Okay.
Welcome back. Let's get on the road.
Who wants to go first?
I don't know, but I love this helmet.
It's so loud in my ears.
This helmet is sweet.
Okay, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay, this one's coming from Am I the Asshole? It was posted 3 years ago. Username, Halloween Grinch.
Halloween Grinch.
Am I the asshole for leaving my surprise party? I, 25 female, was born October 31st at 11:59 p.m.
No way.
Halloween's midnight. The stars aligned so that I could be the queen of this festivity, a damsel of shadows, lady of the night, supreme consort of illusions. Well, it didn't happen. As years went by, I started to resent this fact. At first, because a lot of my friends would rather go out and spend the whole afternoon/night going trick-or-treating around instead of remaining in just one place. And then, because of my teenage years, I somehow ended in a position that people expected me to throw a Halloween party. But when the party came, it was all about the costumes and the buzz. You know, drinking and the woohoos and stuff. Most of them didn't even buy me a gift. I was not the birthday girl, just the Halloween hostess. When I finally grew a spine of age 19 and said that year there would be no party, I celebrated my birthday alone because everyone had better things to do on that weekend. Since I started college, I made it clear to all my social circle that I hate Halloween. I don't like costumes, I don't like decorations, and I don't like spooky things. It's not like I go around destroying and cursing everything during October, but don't expect me to celebrate. Nowadays, I do my birthday at midday, with a very vanilla, no theme party. Knowing all of this, you should understand why. Last Saturday, when I came home after spending the day with my parents and found a surprise costume party, fully decorated with orange, black, pumpkins, bats, and spiders, with all my friends as superheroes and monsters, I went in complete shock. There are videos of it. I entered, saw it all, made a very weird expression, similar to that of a deer startled by headlights, suddenly turned around and ran into my car. People tried to stop me, but it seems I was too fast. I don't really remember, honestly, it's just a blur. I just remember the shock and then waking up in my car, on a big mall's parking lot, crying. It's like I was on full autopilot. I then went back to my parents. My friends are now mad at me. It seems that somehow they got the idea that I was over my Halloween hate, since I haven't talked about it in a long time, and thought it would be the greatest plan to surprise me with it. They spent the whole day decorating, spent a lot of money on the event, and according to them, the whole logistics were extremely difficult. A party for more or less 30 guests ain't no easy deal. All for me just to arrive, ruin the mood for everyone, and send all their effort in the trash. These people, who I don't know if I should call friends anymore, sent me to what I assume was a panic attack. But I am the villain in the story because I wasted their hard work. Honestly, I don't know. I've barely speak to anyone this week because the environment is super dense, and I don't know if I'm the crazy one here. So Reddit, am I the asshole?
No, I don't think so. I feel like the closest people in your life should know how you feel about certain events, like certain big life events, like your birthday and stuff. Like, and if they knew you well, like they wouldn't do this to you. They thought you just got over it because you weren't talking about it. Like maybe that's a better indication that she doesn't want to talk about it because she hates it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think she's the asshole. I don't know. I feel like it might be a little bit of like from an outsider, I think it's an overreaction just because I haven't been in her shoes, obviously. So I don't have the same hate for Halloween. But I think her feelings are valid because it's like the Halloween holiday was always
overshadowing her birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody else got birthday and Halloween.
Yeah. Kind of like you.
Yeah. That's why, this is I don't know if I kind of think she's kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to be on the outside of it, but I feel like I have a different perspective than most people because my birthday is on Christmas. And part of me is like, she has complete fair rights to be entitled to how she feels about Halloween. And, nothing wrong with it or anything, but she is still a little bit of an asshole because that would be like me not wanting to celebrate Christmas around everybody. And therefore, that would ruin Christmas for all my family and friends. It would essentially ruin Christmas. Like, imagine I didn't celebrate Christmas because I wanted my birthday to be so special. That's where
I guess
I'm just
it's a little bit different, though, because they threw her a surprise party thinking that that's what she wanted. I think that's what she was most hurt about.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why I'm like, I'm not strong on this. And I just feel like, I think you have to understand that you cutting Halloween out of your life is kind of an asshole move to your friends and family who are celebrating it. And I only say that from the point of like, I'm just imagining like if I'm like, I never want to celebrate Halloween. Like, Christmas. I never want to celebrate Halloween. Christmas. I never want to celebrate Christmas. That kind of makes me I feel like personally that would make me kind of an asshole towards you, towards my sisters who want to celebrate Christmas. I feel like that kind of makes me a bit of an asshole for not wanting to celebrate the holiday. And on the flip side, you have no obligation to have to celebrate these holidays that people create, to make joy of their lives and stuff. But you kind of become an asshole because you not because of your personal beliefs, because I feel like you are entitled to that, but because you are starting to kind of ruin it for other people. Not necessarily like you're a fucking asshole, but like low key, like 5%, like you're a little bit, like I don't know how to describe it exactly.
I see your point about like ruining everyone's day and stuff, but this was supposed to be for her.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I think it's different.
I think her friends are assholes too.
Yeah.
No. In this story, I think her friends are assholes, but I'm just saying in a generic thing, I feel like you have to be prepared and at least recognize that you are kind of being an asshole to your friends for not wanting to celebrate this or Christmas or Easter, like in the smallest way. I don't know how, like everybody like is entitled to celebrate what they do and don't want. I think a better
Comparison for this would be if someone really hated their birthday. Not falling on a holiday or anything. They just really, really hated their birthday.
And then you threw them a surprise party. Yeah, for sure. No, I think she has total rights to like get freaked out. And I think her friends were assholes and stuff like that. Yeah. I just think if you're the kind of person who you can't celebrate any of the holidays that everybody else, but at the same time, then I'm like, maybe you're not really an asshole for it. I'm conflicted here.
Yeah, it's tough because we haven't walked in her shoes. Like,
well, I have. And that's why I'm conflicted.
Yes, but you could have had a totally different upbringing. Like, people probably made you feel special on your birthday. Like, she's always been, like she said, like, no one really, it was never about her.
That's why I'm like, I'm almost overwhelmingly like, she's not the asshole, she's entitled to her stuff, but just a small part of me, because I'm like, if I didn't celebrate Christmas, I feel like that would make me an asshole towards you. Yeah. When I'm conflicted. I don't know.
That would definitely make you an asshole in my eyes.
Right? So that's why I'm kind of conflicted. But I feel like somebody you should have the entitlement to not want to celebrate a holiday, or you should have the
Like,
option.
you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you have the option to do whatever you want. So that's why I'm like, I'm torn on this one.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
Top comment, not the asshole. They had good intentions, but the road to hell is paved with them. If you're so upset at their surprise that you turned and ran and then spent half the night crying in your car in a mall parking lot, then I would say their surprise gift to you was a very bad one. You don't owe them an apology. They assumed you would be pleased, and they obviously assumed wrong. The fault is on them. While I do agree with all of that, your apology is going to kind of pave the path for your future with this friendship. If you don't appreciate their friendship and you don't want their friendship, don't give an apology. If you want to keep these people as friends, I feel like you do owe them an apology in a sense, in a way. The conversation is owed if you want to keep them as friends, being like, you need to tell them why it offended you, why you didn't appreciate it, how much Halloween actually triggers you and how much you hate it.
Yeah.
Part of that needs to be, I'm sorry I reacted this way, but this is why I reacted this way. And if they can't reciprocate after your initial apology of they're not sorry too, then those aren't friends that you want. And if they aren't friends that you want, then you don't need to apologize. But I would say if you're not going to be willing to apologize for running away, they probably won't want to be friends with you either, because they, as much as it was misaligned, they spent a lot of hard work and effort to give you a surprise party. They thought they were doing something.
They had good intentions.
They had good intentions.
Yeah,
and that's why, so that's why I feel like you kind of do owe them apology.
Yeah.
In the sense of friendship, of like, it needs to be apology, and then tell them they also owe you an apology.
Yeah.
Both sides need to apologize.
Like,
here.
if it were me, I would definitely apologize.
Yeah.
But I'm a people pleaser. A pathological
I'm not
people
even
pleaser.
a people pleaser, and I'm like, I still think she, while I don't think she owes them an apology, I think if she wants to keep the friendship, there needs to be apologies on both sides.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right.
Overall vote was not the asshole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right. This one comes from Am I the Asshole?
Wait.
I'm not going to be able to take you seriously. Are you going to lift it up when it's your time to input?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Am I the asshole for not letting my daughter go to a Halloween party? My husband, 34 male, and I, 34 female, have 6 kids. Our 2 oldest are our 15-year-old daughter, Autumn, and our 13-year-old son, Thatcher. Thatcher and Autumn are both at the age where they don't go trick-or-treating for Halloween anymore. Both of them have different parties they want to go to. Thatcher and his girlfriend want to go as Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. My son plays baseball and watches all sports, including the NFL. His girlfriend is into Taylor Swift. Autumn and her boyfriend want to go as Marie and Pierre Curie. The issue has been Autumn and her boyfriend saying mean things to Thatcher and his girlfriend about their costume. The biggest issue is that they said that his girlfriend shouldn't be Taylor Swift because his girlfriend is black. We are white and live in a very white area. She's one of the few black kids in the district. Thatcher got into a massive argument with Autumn over this. We weren't home when this happened, but when Thatcher told us what happened, we spoke to both of them. Thatcher was justifiably angry. He said that it didn't matter because anyone can be Taylor Swift for Halloween. Thatcher tries to learn about his girlfriend's struggles and culture. We talked to Autumn about this, and she at first dismissed it. We pushed her, and she wouldn't apologize until we had to threaten to take away her electronics. A few days later, she made a comment about how quote-unquote dumb the costume was, and how they're only going as it because they're famous, and how my son is just following trends. Autumn was talked to again, and she apologized. The last straw was yesterday. I had gotten a call from Autumn's science teacher that her and her boyfriend were complaining that Thatcher's costume had made other kids uncomfortable. I apologized, and she said that Autumn and her boyfriend had said racist things before, and I asked why she didn't tell me. She told me she emailed me. After talking for a bit, we realized that the email in the school system was wrong, and I gave her my correct email, and she said she'd help me get it changed in the system. I talked to Autumn, and she said that her and her boyfriend just tell the truth in class. She also admitted she wasn't sorry for what she said to Thatcher. I told her she wasn't allowed to go to a Halloween party, and she told me I was overreacting. I asked some of my friends for advice, and they said I was being too hard on her. My son, however, is really upset and says that knowing she's getting grounded for her behavior makes him more comfortable bringing his girlfriend over. He says he wouldn't want to live with us if we didn't punish her racism. Am I the asshole?
Not at all. I don't think
Not
so.
at all.
I'm as you're starting the story, I'm like, yo, that's low-key racist. Like,
It is racist.
Doesn't matter what race someone is. Like, it's a costume. You're gonna put on the blonde hair. You're gonna put on some kind of Taylor Swift outfit, and you know, if you're not 6'4" big dude with a beard, doesn't mean you can't be Travis Kelce. You know, just put on the Travis Kelce jersey.
That's a great point. Like, what if some what's it called, scrawny dude?
Yeah,
scrawny dude wanted to be Travis Kelce. Like,
what if you're a girl and you want to be Travis Kelce?
Yeah,
you could do that.
Exactly.
Do your hair?
I'm Beetlejuice.
Do your hair like a guy? Yeah, exactly.
Beetlejuice is a man.
Oh, I didn't know that, but that makes sense.
What do you mean? Denver's never seen Beetlejuice.
No, I've never
guys.
seen Beetlejuice.
Insane. But yeah, I fully agree with you.
Yeah, that's definitely racist. And then you double tripling down, and then teachers like, yo, they said racist stuff before, and it's like,
you need to punish this behavior.
Yeah,
otherwise it's gonna keep happening.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. They should lose their Halloween party.
100%.
1 year. That's gonna teach them something. No kids are gonna learn if there's no actual consequence.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, losing your cell phone, cool. You lose a privilege, whatever, you know it's going to come back. You miss a Halloween party, that Halloween party's never happening again.
That's true.
Like, you miss...
You have FOMO.
Yeah, you get the FOMO. Like, you get your phone, like, oh, you'll get your phone back in a month, whatever it is. It's like, oh, I just need to, you know, carry on the days and I'll get there. But, like, missing out on your 11th grade, 12th grade Halloween party, like, you're never going to get that same Halloween party again. Mm-hmm. So, that's a real consequence. And I think... for racism, there needs to be an actual serious consequence here.
Exactly.
Big consequence, yeah.
Not only, like, for the daughter's sake, for her to learn her lesson, but also to show Thatcher's girlfriend, Autumn. No, Autumn is the daughter. Thatcher's girlfriend, I don't know her name. That you aren't enabling this, and this isn't allowed.
Exactly.
Because, obviously, like, they're 15 years old? Yeah, 15. So what, like, regardless how young that is, you still want to make your home comfortable for her.
Absolutely.
Because who knows, like, they could get married. Like, obviously I am a white person, but I can't imagine having or being a person of color in like dating someone in a family that doesn't approve of them or not even that, but just enables this behavior.
Yeah, and I mean, it goes, I feel like it goes every which way and direction, like not only black people, but like we're watching Gilmore Girls and Lane's mom only wanted her to date a Korean person or whatever, and she dated a white guy, and it was like a huge thing. And it's like, no matter what it is between and you know Korean, Japanese, like there was a lot of things towards Asian and stuff versus or black, like it goes every which way. And even 100%. Like maybe like it's a white kid and the black family treats him like whatever, calls him a cracker or like treats him differently when he's there. There's just no need for racism in any family or anything. So I think absolutely, no matter what the household is, no matter what it is, any race that needs to be dealt with, any racism needs to be dealt with.
100%. Top comment, not the asshole. If Autumn is making racist comments in school and the teacher has noticed and reported it to you, you have to take a stand and make her realize this is unacceptable behavior. It seems harsh, but grounding her from a party may be what it takes to make her realize the seriousness of her unacceptable behavior. Good luck.
I feel like I have these thoughts because I'm not a parent and I don't know what punishments are actually like for kids, but I feel like I would be harsher than that. I feel like you wouldn't just lose the party.
I feel like racism is like a really big thing.
That's a big thing to me. That's not like, oh, I didn't do my homework or I skipped class. Like that one to me is like you are missing your Halloween party, you're losing your devices, and you're scrubbing the bathrooms for the next month. You know what I mean? Like, and there needs to be a little bit more oomph. A little bit more, get some dirt underneath those fingernails. Like, you know, a little more...
Child labor.
Yeah, I feel like there needs to be more punishment. I feel like just missing the Halloween party is not enough. But maybe I say that because I'm not a parent.
Yeah.
We have been told that we shouldn't have kids.
I was just going to say, I just blocked somebody, actually. That was, like, really rude about us making... we would be terrible parents, and I'm so glad we don't have kids, blah, blah, blah.
Well, you probably would be we probably would be terrible parents, and we don't have kids.
Guess what? We don't have kids, and we don't plan on having any. So, hopefully, that relieves you.
Wait, we're not having kids?
Fuck. Okay.
On to me?
On to you.
Okay. Am I the asshole for refusing to take my ex's nephews out for Halloween after finding out my ex is dating someone new? I, 33 female, had a nasty breakup with my ex, 33 male. We met in high school and dated from 20 to 28. Long story short, we broke up many times, and among the reasons was cheating and STDs, he being the cheater. When we first started dating, he was highly involved with his nephews' lives. They were 3 and 1 at the time. Now they are 16 and 14. In 2022, my ex and I started hanging out as friends again. I know, bad idea. This lasted about a year and ended with him leaving me alone at night while on a trip in Boston. We had a small disagreement and he walked off with the room keys, subway passes, and credit cards. I had 10% battery on my phone and was able to hail an Uber to the hotel, where I begged the front desk to give me access to the room. It's been a year and a half and I still have no contact. His nephews lovingly refer to me as an aunt since they grew up very close to me. I've taken them out several times throughout the past year. We avoid discussing their uncle, and when we do, it's them that initiates it. I politely change the subject. Times they have discussed him, they say he's really let himself go. He's a recluse and alone. We had always discussed if he had ever started dating anyone, my access to the kids would stop out of respect for his partner. Call me weird, but I think it's weird having an ex hang out with your family. So last week, I noticed on Facebook a name keeps popping up in my recommended friends. Curious, I look at the page and it's his current girlfriend, who he's been with for 5 months. He also hasn't been a recluse. All the times I've taken them out have been because he was with her. Essentially, he has been pawning off his nephews on me because he was too busy. Now, I don't care that he's dating someone. My feelings are long gone. My question is, do I discuss this with his nephews? Halloween is coming up, and I know they like me taking them out to events. Am I wrong for no longer doing so? Do I need to discuss with him? I prefer no contact, but if I need to set up a boundary, I will. Please help.
I don't know about this one. I feel like, yes, because this is about the kids and their relationship with you. You have a close relationship with them. They consider you their aunt.
Imagine in 16 years we get a divorce. Would you still take Andrew trick-or-treating?
I guess it depends. I don't know. Did we end amicably? Like, there's so many...
Nope. Apparently I cheated and I gave you STDs.
Well, I don't know. I have pressure on me because I know Madison listens now. Well, see, I don't know because I obviously don't have a relationship right now with Andrew. Like,
he's just a baby.
He's just a baby. So it's hard to like put myself in those shoes. It's also weird because I thought this would have been like a jealousy thing, but it's not. It seems like she's doing it because she doesn't want to seem like the ex that hangs around to the new girlfriend. So I feel like, I don't know, like that's also kind of like a nice thing to do for the girlfriend. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
This one's a weird one because she's not jealous. She's not being bitter. I think she has kind of good intentions but it's a lose-lose situation. Like, she's going to upset somebody, I feel. Well, like if she keeps a relationship with her nephews and her promise to take them out for Halloween, then I guess, no, maybe it's not really a lose. It's just the fact that you assume that the girlfriend's going to be jealous because her boyfriend's ex is still in his life.
And she just feels weird about it.
She feels weird. It's tough. I don't know.
Talk comment. You're the asshole. So you only kept in contact with the nephews to have access to your ex? Because that's what it sounds like. The moment he was no longer single, you dropped them like a hot potato. Either you care about them and love them for who they are, or you only see them as an extension of your ex and don't love them for their own sake. Your nephews lied about your ex being a recluse because they feared losing you. Guess you proved them right. Overall vote was you're the asshole.
Damn. I didn't get that vibe from her, though.
Neither did I.
Like, from the top comment, I didn't get the vibe that she kept in contact.
Right?
She literally said she's, like, way over the feelings.
It seems like it's more of a respect thing. Like, I feel like that would be weird to, like, go into a relationship and be like, oh, your ex still hangs out with your nephews?
Yeah. I don't know if she's just being a girl's girl.
You know, I don't know, because I feel like nephews are like, maybe she's friends with the kid's parents, and then you broke up. So maybe that's not so weird. I feel like they're not his kids. That would be weird. If she was still hanging out with his kids, even though they were broken up, that would probably be weird. But maybe it's not so different because, like, you know, what if you were more closer with Madison, right? And you were still good friends with Madison, even after we got divorced.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That sounds difficult.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. On to me?
Over to you.
This one? So loud. All right. This one comes from True Scary Stories. Around Halloween of 2010 or 2011, I'm in Texas living in an apartment with my then girlfriend who grew up Jehovah's Witness. She's never celebrated a birthday, let alone the best holiday of the year. But now she's living by her own rules, she's up for some new experiences. She wants to wear a costume, walk the neighborhood streets, see some spooky shit, the whole 9 yards. Halloween's my favorite time of year, so I'm more than happy to be the one to introduce it. The day of, we get our costumes. Nothing crazy. She paints her face up in zombie or some kind of ghoul-like fashion. I decide to go with those little latex pieces you glue to your face and blend in with flesh tone paint. It comes out great, better than I could have hoped. I got one on my forehead that looks like a deep cut, another that looks like a big hole has been ripped out of my cheek. I drip some of that gelatinous fake blood that stays in place and looks fresh for hours. It looked real. We both admire it for the next few hours before the sun starts setting and we hit the streets. Our apartment complex is surrounded by neighborhoods, so we get plenty of residential streets to walk down. We're having a great time looking at all the house decorations and kids wearing costumes. She's loving it, so much that she's ready to take it to the next level. She wants to go a few blocks up to the cemetery. I'm like, yeah, that's a Halloween thing. Let's go. To get there, we gotta walk a little ways on a street that's pretty busy. It's extra busy this night. There's no sidewalk, just a bike lane wedged between the road and a grassy hill. We're walking against traffic. The sun is gone and it's just blinding yellow lights whooshing past us about every 3 seconds. Bike lane is steady, getting more narrow, and we're moving gradually up onto the hill. Her walking a few paces ahead of me, and me starting to think that this is getting a little sketchy. We're going along and stuck walking at the edge of the steep hill and the busy road when suddenly I hear the rev of an engine. 2 headlights coming our way suddenly turn into 4 as a big Ford F-250 tries to go around the slower car in front of it. The truck tries to move around it on the bike lane. Like all those Ford models, it has the extended side mirrors that stick out like 2 feet. I'm watching my girlfriend ahead of me as its passenger side mirror slams into her right shoulder and spins her around. The mirror explodes into a million little pieces of plastic and glass. I'm like, holy shit. I run up to her. She's like standing, kind of dazed. I'm asking her if she's okay, and she's just nodding her head. I'm thinking maybe she doesn't feel it yet, and I'm terrified to look, but I gently pull her sweater to the side to check her shoulder. A faint bruise forming is all I see. She's talking now, and after another minute of questioning, it seems she's really fine. I realize they probably make those mirrors to explode on impact for this very reason. In the meantime, the driver of the truck has pulled over with his hazards on, a little down from the way we came. We both walk over there, both of us still kind of dazed from shock and fear. The driver gets out. He's a Mexican guy, doesn't know a lot of English, just keeps saying, "No insurance," in a kind of have mercy on me tone. My girlfriend made it up to the truck first, so he's really just kind of saying it to her. When I emerge from the darkness is when it starts to get weird, and funny in hindsight. He's still mumbling to her about no insurance. She's saying something about he needs to be more careful. He finally looks at me, and he stops talking completely. I see his eyes really studying my face while it turns white as a bedsheet. I'm really too freaked out from what just happened to put it all together. I am, however, outwardly calm. My girlfriend seems fine. She's talking, moving, breathing. Eventually, I'm okay enough to kind of start smiling, try to take the edge off of our new Mexican friend, and make him feel less freaked out too. We stand by the truck for a few minutes, me and her just like, oh well, I guess we're good. The guy, meanwhile, still just dead set on me and not saying anything. He can't understand us anyway. He doesn't speak English. Me and her look at each other and mutually feel the situation has run its course. We tell him good night and walk off into the night. A little later, we're rehashing what took place, especially wondering why he acted so weird. It's only then that we recover our senses and remember how good my prosthetic looks. The guy probably didn't have time to see who hit the mirror. He probably had the scariest roller coaster ride of emotion when she came up first and seemed fine, only for me to pop out looking like I tried shaving with a lawnmower. And then the way I was standing there smiling, saying it's all right, buddy, don't worry about it. It was both the most scared I'd ever been on Halloween and the most I ever scared someone else.
Yo, this dude's terrified. He's like, oh, thank God you're right. Oh my God, I hit him. He needs to go to the hospital. Holy fuck, he's freaking hurt. He's bleeding. Did I run him over? The dude got traumatized.
Yeah.
Kind of rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean...
Try to pass somebody in a bike lane, bro.
Yeah, don't be a dumb driver.
Yeah, literally. Jeez.
That's funny. I'm sure he'll never do that again.
Nice one. That was a good one.
All right.
Classic. Good. All right, on to me. Today, I fucked up being Jesus. This happened on Halloween. I imagine the evening going down more or less like this. 1. Slip into a white robe. 2. Stick on a cactus crown. 3. Moonwalk out of the house as Jesus. 4. Never break character. 5. Hop into an Uber. 6. Show up to celebrate Halloween with friends. 7. Go ham. 8. Go home. 9. Go to sleep. 10. Go for a job interview the next morning. This is what I would have called a good night. However, after number 7, things didn't quite go as planned. Here's how shit actually unfolded. 8. Got shit-faced. 9. Drunk me turned into drunk Jesus. 10. Fell into my friend's swimming pool and almost drowned after attempting to walk on water. 11. Realizing wearing all white plus water equals everyone seeing your shriveled up schlong through your tighty whities. 12. Drunk dialed my religious mother in the middle of the night to tell her that I'm proof that Jesus is fake as fuck and that I'm gay. 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 13. Unleashed an unholy amount of vomit in the Uber driver's car on the way home. 14. Missed my job interview the following morning after waking up laughably late. 15. Realized drunk me set the alarm on my phone 2 years into the fucking future. For the record, I apologize to my mom. We cool now.
That's hilarious. I'm gay. 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 That's so good.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I thought that was a good one.
Oh. All right. Back to me.
Back to you.
Am I the asshole for uninviting 25 family members to my wedding 6 weeks to showtime? I have had this Halloween wedding planned for 2 years. Yes, you read this. The venue I wanted has a wait list. All of a sudden, my mom and grandma decided the wedding was satanic and want me to make last-minute changes. I told my mom and grandma a firm no. 2 years my family has known about this, and because I have told them no, half my mom's side thought they would be cute and say that they aren't coming in a random-ass power struggle. I told them fine and canceled everyone's invitations who complained or backed my mom and grandma on this. One of my sisters acted like she stepped out of bridesmaid duties, so I replaced her. It was about 25 people that decided to act stupid at less than the 6-week mark, so I sent out uninvited invitations. And I sent out new QR codes for those attending, and the venue will check in by only those to let people in. My aunt, who was one of the uninvited, told me people are allowed to disagree with me, and that doesn't mean I can pull an invitation from a wedding that they have made plans to attend. I told my aunt they had 2 years for complaints, but saying you are not going at 6 weeks before my wedding is bullshit, and everyone fucked around and found out, and I will not be bullied by my family over this. Am I the asshole?
Your wedding, your choice.
My favorite words.
Yeah, that's your favorite words. I'm conflicted on this one because usually for me, like, I do think uninviting. Well, yes, you are the asshole. Is it okay to be the asshole?
Sometimes it's okay to be the asshole.
ThreadTalk's classic, our theme basically. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this one.
Uninviting is really petty.
It is. It's the fuck around and found out where I'm like, hey, like, if they say they're not coming and you don't want to come, cool, whatever. Your invite's open, but you don't have to come. That's kind of where I'm at, but I don't blame her.
Yeah.
You obviously don't love your family enough. You're obviously like, fuck you. Fuck around, find out, motherfuckers.
No, come on. That's them not loving her enough to be complaining about the wedding day being on Halloween.
No, everybody complains. Everybody thinks their opinion is the right one and stuff. Everybody thinks, this is not the normal wedding. You can't do it this way. Blah, 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 blah.
People are entitled. That's the problem. They're entitled to other people's day.
Especially when they're family. They are entitled to tell you how they feel.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think it's a little harsh. If they don't want to show up, cool. Let them draw that line in the sand. You built a fucking wall in the sand. I think I don't know.
Okay.
Like I don't think what they did was wrong. I think it was actual-ish. Maybe a little overkill.
A little bit petty.
But I got you.
Yeah.
I'm on board. Sometimes it's okay. Throw the pillow up.
Same.
I can't really grab it. Costume's not good for it this time.
Yeah, my costume is overstimulating me. I don't want to move. Top comment. Not the asshole. Sounds like a blast. Which bride are you dressing as? OP replies, a light blue corpse bride dress, and then I'm going to have light blue hair. That's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
This was posted 22 days ago, so it's coming up this Halloween. I want to see pictures.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. It's a cool theme. I like that. That's cool.
That's awesome. I feel like that's really cool. That's unique. And Halloween is on a Thursday this year. So,
that's my favorite day of the week.
Thursdays?
Yep.
Why?
I love Thursdays.
Why?
I don't know.
I usually go into the office on Thursdays.
Yeah, I love it when you're gone.
Awesome. Overall vote, not the asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. She's kind of an asshole, though. But it's okay. It's okay to be an asshole sometimes. I don't know.
It's a wee bit petty, but I back it.
I like the fuck around, find out.
Yeah. I respect it.
But, like, do you not want to have any relationship with your family in the future? Because that's what that's going to cause. Sometimes I think I'm an asshole, and I wouldn't even do that.
I know. Ugh. Yeah, it's tough.
So, yeah, I don't know.
This would be like the end of a relationship. I feel like
it,
an uninvitation. Uninvite. Am I saying that correctly?
And
uninvite.
And like the QR codes are gonna be changed. They're gonna be blocked from entering.
That is worse than someone just like complaining about it being on Halloween or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. All right. Back to me. Mm-hmm. This one's coming from Ghost Stories from 3 years ago. Halloween prank gone spooky. So 2 Halloweens ago, I did something kind of dumb. Let me start at the beginning. I started working in a small local pizza shop in my hometown. After a few days, I became really good work friends with the early morning housekeeper for the bar next door. She was really cool and dark, very mysterious. Along with her, I made friends with some of the cooks. One cook and I started hanging out almost every weekend. Eventually, the housekeeper became comfortable with us coming over. Now, I was not expecting what I walked into. Her house was like the party store threw up on Halloween and horror in her house. She had many odd collections, stones, dead flowers, herbs, and many, many books on witches and black magic. Her prized possession was a real human skull she got off a crackhead many, many years prior.
Okay.
Needless to say, it took some warming up to get used to her house. Though spooky, it was still very much inviting. Cut to Halloween 2020, and it's a full moon. Halloween was my friend's only holiday she ever celebrated, so we went big. By this time, the cook we made friends with had become absolutely insufferable to be around, so we hatched an idea to scare the absolute piss out of him. The plan. My friend and her daughter and I sat down to talk about what we wanted to do. I mentioned how it was a full moon, so how about we go to the oldest cemetery near us at midnight and do some EVPs and stuff? They said absolutely. Now, my friend, we'll call her T, was very into black magic. She wanted to take her witch's bell and open a portal. I didn't really believe her, but went with it. Her daughter chimed in with the brilliant idea to construct a mox didic box, and when we got there, she would smash it on the ground and start acting up to scare the cook off. We should have known better. Well, I should have. Halloween night comes around. We were a bit late getting out the door, but at about 11:30 at night, we left T's place. The cook drove and I sat shotgun. T and her daughter were in the back, her daughter with the Dybbuk box in hand. We had told him that she ordered it offline. T did an amazing job making it look absolutely authentic. So as we drove, we didn't think much about the box. I had brought my EVP recorder and EMF detector with us. I set the EMF detector in the door as we drove and had it off. All of a sudden, T's daughter giggled and shook the mock Dybbuk box, and out of nowhere, my EMF meter starts to sound off and beep. It wasn't even on. We all went silent, and then the whole mood shifted. We got to the cemetery, and we all kind of nervously got out of the car. The whole area was glowing, the leaves glistening in the moonlight, and the tombstones were almost ethereal with the glow from the granite reflecting the moon. Clear skies, and all alone we slowly made our way out to the back part of the cemetery. It was so beyond silent out there. We found a good spot, and T says, "Okay, everyone sit in a circle." She then opens a container and pours her sacred salt mix around us and warns us not to leave for any reason until we are done. At this point, I'm ready to go home. The cook looks terrified. I am absolutely dreading the feelings in the air. So we all sit. T puts the box in the middle of us and puts both the EMF and EVP recorder next to it. Her daughter starts playing a spirit box app, and the sounds that come out of it silenced us. "Let me out," it said. Then the EMF went nuts. Suddenly, I got that gut sinking feeling I wasn't alone with them anymore, and we were in serious trouble. Silence falls over us, and we kind of stare at each other now. Now me, T, and her daughter had not all planned on this box actually being real, but somehow she managed to catch some entity inside. Then, like we were snapped from a trance, we realized there is walking coming from the woods inches from us. We can clearly see no one is there though. I closed my eyes and grabbed T's hand and said, "Okay, I'm officially scared. What do we do?" She says, "It's fine. Ghosts aren't real." I said, "Bitch, you and I both know that's a lie." As I said that, the cook stands up and says, "Yo guys, I think we really need to get the heck out of here. I can hear people all around us." At this point, he kicks the salt circle open and starts walking to the car. T's daughter smashes the box and says, "Screw it, let's go." So we all frantically follow. When us girls got home, we knew we messed up. We didn't close the door we opened. We actually caught something in the box. We might have let it out there on accident. All I know is since then, none of us four have been right. I never feel like I'm alone. And if I'm working alone, I always have to double check if I'm really alone. I've always believed in the paranormal, but now I'm a firm believer in black magic and witchcraft. Thoughts? Opinion? Advice? Shortly after this, we all had a falling out and no longer speak to each other.
I don't like that. I don't understand though. I thought they made it. This box.
I don't know what to tell you.
That's really frightening.
Creepy.
Yeah. Also, like, what was their plan? Like, I don't know. They were
To scare him.
But they were going out with, like, a cook, like, the guy to, like, on Halloween. I don't know. This was a little bit weird.
They wanted to scare him.
It's not very nice.
No, they're mean.
What did he do to you?
Mean girls.
Well, now you got a freaking spirit following you.
No piach.
That's spooky. That was a spooky one.
That was my spooky one.
Oh, okay.
I had one spooky one. That was it.
All right.
Spooky.
Well, I was going to read my spooky one next. I will read a spooky one. No, I'll read a different one. Today I fucked up by mistaking my cousin's new look for a Halloween costume. This is my first time posting here. This happened last Sunday. For a bit of context, my cousin and I went to school together for most of our lives. Our birthdays are just a couple of days apart, and we were always best friends. However, after finishing high school, she moved to a different state and started college, unlike me, who decided to work full-time instead. We drifted apart almost entirely. Fast forward to the current year. She abandoned college and came back here. I was happy to learn that she would be staying with my family for a while until she gets back on her feet. After not seeing her in 2 years, I was honestly quite hyped to spend time with her again. Halloween is, or was, our favorite holiday, so I planned to take her to a party with a few friends. My parents picked her up from the bus station, and by the time they came home, I was already in my costume. Somehow I assumed that she would be already dressed up and ready to go to the party, which was a terrible assumption on my part. A little bit of extra context. Before she moved, she was a bubbly girl who loved pastel colors, anything stereotypically girly, kawaii culture, and anime. Those last two things were our biggest topics of conversation and money sinks. Since I'm goth, and I was back then too, we are a very interesting duo to say the least. She, however, had an extremely dark and limitless sense of humor. Nothing was off the table for her to make fun of, especially on Halloween. As a matter of fact, she got kicked out of our high school Halloween party for a very bad taste costume. Back to last Sunday. I saw her enter the living room as a completely different person. Her hair was dyed green and shaved on one side, wearing a tank top and a denim vest full of political pins and patches, proudly displaying her dyed armpit hair and a completely different demeanor. My first reaction was to smile and hug her, then I complimented her on her enraged feminist, a term we both used to make fun of back in the day, costume while laughing. Big freaking mistake. She went off on me. I felt like shit and I tried very hard to apologize, telling her that I was just confused and also way too hyped for Halloween. She then told me that she no longer celebrates it and said some really cruel things about me and my costume. I ended up going to the party without her and didn't really enjoy myself there. We haven't talked much since. I've tried apologizing at least once every day since, but I just feel like shit for being such an asshole to her.
Oh man, that fucking sucks. Okay. Listen, I don't think people shave their head for a Halloween costume, so that could have been a little bit of a wig. Okay, I guess. Is it really her fault, though, that the person that she used to know went through such a radical change?
I mean, I don't think so. I feel like this was an honest mistake.
Yeah.
That's tough, though.
That's tough.
Because, like, if that was you, someone's like, great Halloween costume, and that's just your look, like, you're gonna be offended.
Yeah, that's tough to come back from.
Yeah.
For sure, that's tough.
That's really awkward on both sides.
Eek!
Top comment. Out of curiosity, what was your costume and what did she say that was cruel? OP replied, Sailor Saturn. She said it was a slutty costume and a pedophile magnet. Sailor Saturn?
Yeah, it's this old anime show with like witch thing, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. The pedophile, that's just unnecessary.
That is such an unnecessary comment. What the fuck?
Like that's just, that's uncalled for.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want to be friends with this cousin anymore.
Yeah. That's actually, like, worse than what OP said.
100%. Way worse. 10 times worse.
Yeah. All right.
Back to me?
Back to you.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Am I the asshole for telling a vegan mom that the candy she stole from my kids and was eating wasn't vegan? This happened on Halloween and the day following. My neighbor, 38 female, has 2 kids. I, 26 female, also have 2 kids. My apartment complex didn't do traditional trick-or-treating on Halloween. Residents were advised to set out pre-packaged individual candy bags on their patios/front door areas if they wanted to participate, but the traditional knock on the door, physically hand strangers candy, was not permitted. So Halloween came and the kids were all dressed up, and each building had a scheduled time where the kids go door to door. I ended up having to work late, so my neighbor offered to walk my kids around with hers at our building's scheduled time. About 45 minutes later, my kids came home with a small bucket of candy. 6 little goodie bags each from individual apartments that participated. Everything was fine, and my kids didn't say anything weird had happened. They were just excited to eat candy once they got home. The next day, I took my kids to the park directly across from our apartment complex. My neighbor was there with her kids as well. The kids were playing, and she took out one of those individual goodie bags with candy in it from her purse and started to loudly rummage in it. She ate several pieces of candy, and my daughter eventually noticed, ran up and asked if she could have a piece, and my neighbor responded, "Nope, this is my tax candy. Remember that this was my reward for taking you trick-or-treating last night." I was a little weirded out by that statement and asked what she meant. She said that since she was the one who had to take the kids out, she took 5 bags from each kid as a tax. Her son then chimes in and said, "You only took 2 bags from us," and she replied with, "But I'm your mom. I was doing OP a favor, so they get a higher candy tax." I was thinking about how to respond when I noticed that she was holding a Starburst candy and decided to just smile and nod and go back to watching my kids. I let her continue to finish off the bag of candy and then said, "Hey, aren't you vegan? You know a lot of those candies are made with animal products, right?" I explained what gelatin was and how a lot of those candies are made with it. She was horrified. She Googles it and then told her kids that they were leaving. She said something about how she was going to be sick and stormed off. Now she's giving me dirty looks every time we see her and won't let her kids play if she shows up at the park and we are there. My husband thinks I'm an asshole because I should have either not said anything about the gelatin or said something right away when I noticed. I don't think it's my job to tell a vegan what is and isn't vegan, and she deserved it for stealing candy from little kids. Mm-hmm. So, am I the asshole?
No. A little bit petty, but I love it.
Right?
Like, she's like, got that smirk.
That's karma.
Like,
I feel like
you eat that gelatin.
That's karma, I feel
It is
like.
karma.
Yeah.
What a rude biatch.
What the fuck is a candy tax?
You're a Grinch.
Okay. Actually, haven't your parents ever taken a little candy from you?
Okay, but this is different. That's fine. Do it in secret. And do not eat it in front of the kids. And then when the kid asks you
say
for
no.
a piece of candy, you say no.
I feel like there's nothing wrong as a parent taking a look in the bag and being like, "Oh, you got to share with mommy and daddy." First off, that shows your kids good sharing skills, teaches them sharing, and teaches them that, everybody's got to get a little bit of something in life. Kind of a small lesson of how life is going to work. Everybody's going to reach into your pocket and take a little bit. The government's going to reach in, take a little bit. So take candy tax. If you're the parent, is kind of I kind of like that term. But doing that to somebody else's kid, that's fucked up.
That's really messed up.
That's kind of fucked up.
I will say though, I don't really agree with you. I would say I would probably hide it, like sneakily go into the bag and pick my favorite candy. Not do it in front of the kid.
No, you got to explain to the kid why you're taking some. That's for mommy and daddy helping you get all this candy. We were your drivers. My mom would sneak in. She would just look for the licorice. She'd be like, "I'm just taking this little piece," but it was never
favorite.
It was never like cruel or anything. It was.
I guess
it was in a good way.
Yeah.
My mom and dad, she used to trick or treat. They used to trick or. I remember this. When they trick or treated, they would bring wine glasses. And I would do
That's
trick or
funny.
treat, and then my mom would be like trick or treat, and you
I
know,
could see Madison doing that.
some people would
True.
be, some people would be like, oh, we don't have any wine, and some people were like, oh, hold on one second, and they go get the wine bottle and they pour a little bit of wine in.
Stop.
My mom
That's
was
amazing.
Drunk by the end of it every time. It was
That's so
hilarious.
funny.
It was funny. I don't like. Okay, you know the when you were trick or treating, what did you take to put your candy in?
I feel like when I was like little, it used to be like a designated Halloween bag.
Did you have like the plastic pumpkin?
Oh yeah, that too. I had that. And then I also remember like those Dollarama, like yay big bags. And then when I got older, I literally brought garbage bags.
Pillowcases.
Oh really?
I used
Like
to take
the
all
movies.
the pillowcases.
Like
How many?
The
I used to
movies.
fill up like 2 or 3 pillowcases.
No way.
I remember like when it got to like grade 7 or 8 or whatnot, like I would tell my parents to keep. I would run door to door, like knock down subdivision. Like I'd put the pillowcase in the car, and then I'd go in for the second pillowcase. Like you had to at least be a pillowcase and a half in before we could go home.
That's awesome.
We used to like compare to our friends, like how much Halloween candy did you get?
Yeah, I used to have Halloween candy in my cantina that lasted until next Halloween.
Oh, mine didn't last more than like 2 weeks.
I was never like allowed to eat it like
Oh, I was
often.
Yeah, I could eat it whenever I wanted. There was no limit on it. But like I didn't get candy any other time of the year. My mom never bought candy. There was never chips in the household. There was never candy bar, never licorice. The most junk food that was in the household would be popcorn. And that wasn't even always there. Other than that, my whole childhood, my mom would never, ever, ever bought a single bag of like Doritos or Sun Chips or anything. My dad would buy Coke for himself once in a while, and he'd hide it downstairs in his office. And so Halloween, I would sort all my candy in like chocolate, but the same things beside each other: gum, licorice, candies, and then I would eat them like that.
I remember like going to the rich neighborhoods and they would give out like the big size.
Full size.
Oh
Full
man.
size. Or like a can of pop.
I never got a camp.
There's one house, the can of pop. The neighbors that were like near that we had to drive to, they would do like full size candy bars or like a can of pop or like a whole baggie.
That's actually funny.
When I was handing out candy, went to Dollarama, I bought like every single different thing, and then I mixed everything in a bowl, and I was just giving like handfuls away every kid,
Yeah.
giant handful. I don't understand the people that give away like 2 pieces of candy.
Yeah.
How much candy does your mom give to kids?
My mom usually does chips.
Yeah, you want to go hand out candy at your parents' house?
Maybe.
I can wear this mask.
You could. It's on a Thursday though. I mean,
I don't work on Thursdays.
I work.
I don't work. I don't work.
Like we gotta go all the way up to Vaughan.
Right?
Traffic. Ugh.
You ever see those nowadays? The like, I don't know, like the check your kid's candy. Did your parents check your candy for you?
No.
I feel
We
like
never had that. Like it wasn't. That's a new thing.
some sick motherfuckers out there who would put things in candy. That's fucked up, like needles and stuff.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's fucked. I can see why buildings, apartments don't let you do door to door or something. So there's an edit. When we got home from the park after the gelatin incident, I sat my kids down and asked why they didn't tell me that the neighbor took half their candy. My eldest kid is 6 and my youngest kid is 4. 6-year-old explained that as they went door to door during their designated trick-or-treating time, she would have my 4-year-old grab 2 bags instead of 1 from each apartment for the majority of them. She explained it to my kids that they were grabbing extra bags for her to be handed over at the end as taxation. So either way, she was directly taking candy from my kids or taking candy from other kids through mine.
That's wild.
Yeah. As for the gelatin, she knew what gelatin was. She knows what it's made of. She knows that there are obviously things that she can't eat, but she had no idea that a lot of candies specifically have gelatin, apparently. When I told her that they had gelatin in it, she knew what gelatin was, but Googled the candies to see if I was correct. I think she is either really dumb or she eats non-vegan stuff all the time when no one is watching and had to pretend to be horrified about it at this point. Because a lot of you guys have pointed out that you literally can't be vegan and not know these things. I am not vegan and I am not freaking vegetarian and I know these things. About the Starbursts, a lot of you have said that Starbursts are vegan friendly. However, Starbursts in the USA are made with animal gelatin. In the UK, they are vegan though. That's crazy, I didn't know that.
The States have a lot of different food parameters, I guess. Gelatin. Oh my god, I'm just Googling what gelatin is. Manufacturers produce gelatin by processing animal bones, cartilage, and skin.
That's gross.
That's really... Ugh. Ew. Ew. I feel like I have heard about gelatin not being vegan. But I would never guess like Starburst. I don't know. But that makes sense, the texture of it.
So there's another edit. Edit 2. I cannot thank you guys enough for all the insight on this. And if it weren't for you all commenting and me being able to show my husband, he probably wouldn't have told me what was actually wrong. Turns out he was calling me an asshole because she's been parking in his assigned parking spot and giving him dirty looks since this has happened. I had no idea because I work from home and haven't used the car in days. He finally told me why he was so grumpy about what I did. He hates confrontation and was misplacing his anger at me. I'm going to talk to her about it first, then management if it doesn't stop. I also bought several bags of candy that our entire family has been snacking on since.
Wouldn't that make you double down on the anger?
Yeah, I don't know.
The parking spot thing? Like,
yeah, for sure. I'd be more angry.
Yeah, I'm not understanding.
One thing as an adult, I don't understand the trick-or-treating because, like, can't we just buy candy to have in the house? Why would we need to go trick-or-treating? Come
on. I'm going to call you Scrooge again.
I know.
You're a Scrooge.
I know.
That's no fun.
I know. It's the funness.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I want candy, I just go get candy. So it's like...
You're an adult. Kids can't do that.
I feel like that's why Halloween was so special to me as a kid, because I did not get candy in my household besides Halloween.
Same.
The stocking stuffers at Christmas, the Easter eggs at Easter, and Halloween is the only candy I got throughout my whole childhood for 18 years.
That's rough. Goodbye.
Back to you.
Okay. This one comes from True Scary Stories. The Van on Halloween. This story is so cliche and ridiculous that no one ever believes it's real, except for the people that were there. It was Halloween 2012, my senior year of high school. I went to a Catholic school, so we always had off the day after Halloween because it's considered a church holy day.
What?
I never had that.
I went to a Catholic school.
Me too.
Maybe I did have that. I don't remember that.
I did not. I know for a fact I did not. So my friends were game to start our weekend early. On nights where we didn't go to the parties, we usually do the same thing. We'd sit on my front steps for a couple of hours and joke around. Then we would walk the neighborhood and usually end up with a shitty pizza place across town because the prices were always so cheap. Since a few of us had recently broken up with our girlfriends, we weren't in much of a party mood, so we did our usual. It's around 10:30 at night, and the pizza joint is closing up for the night. There were 3 of us, me, my friend Pat, and my friend Jack. We finish our food, refill our drinks, and head out. To get back to my house, we had to cross this large mall parking lot that's about 4 football fields long and 2 wide. I should mention at this point that we aren't dumb, naive kids. We all had grown up in the city and had our fair share of urban experiences. All 3 of us were pretty streetwise and were competent out on the street by ourselves, but we experienced something this night that we were totally unprepared for. So we're walking through this parking lot and it's absolutely desolate, not a soul in sight. Suddenly we see a white tradesman van creeping slowly behind us about 100 yards back. I know the old white van cliche, but I swear it's a real story. I point it out to my friends and we pick up our pace. We pop the collars up on our jackets and hunch out the shoulders to make us seem a bit bigger than we are. In an instant, the van speeds up and cuts off our path. Everything in the van is pitch black, so we can't see any people. That's when someone calls out in a non-threatening voice, "Hey man, happy Halloween! You guys like Halloween?" Despite the jovial manner in which this was said, a van doesn't cut you off in a parking lot unless it has bad intentions. We had nowhere to go. We could run, but they're in a van. They would catch up to us easily and we'd have to turn our backs to them. He said it again. "Hey man, you guys like Halloween?" I respond trying to sound tough. "Yeah, but it's over now, so we're heading home and you're in our way." "Nah, dude, Halloween ain't over. We still got lots of candy in here." The tone suddenly shifted and still we can't see anyone in the van. The 3 of us puff out our chest and get ready to fight. After a brief silence that felt like it dragged on for hours, Jack cuts the tension by sternly saying, "Listen, dickhead, I don't know what you think you're about to do, but if you don't leave, we're gonna kick your ass." Once he said that, the back door of the van swung open, and two very tall men stepped out. They had black suits with leather black gloves and were built and strong looking. But the most menacing thing was that they were both wearing these cheap Mitt Romney masks. That's when we realized this wasn't a Halloween prank. At that moment, all three of us went to take off, but the van started driving circles around us. There was no place for us to go. We had no idea how we were going to get out of the situation. I have no idea what these guys were planning to do with three 18-year-old men, but they seemed like they knew what they were doing, and we were all getting ready to fight for our lives. The van stopped, and it looked like they were about to make their move. This was it. I mentioned that there was three of us that night. It was at this moment that my other friend, Pat, the one that had stayed silent up to this point, leaned into both of us and said quietly, "This is a Hail Mary, but get ready to fucking run when I say go, alright?" Then picked up one of our sodas and threw it with all his might at the driver's side window. The window was open and the cup miraculously connected with the driver's head. Pat screamed, "Run!" and we took off across the parking lot. The van squealed off in the other direction and we hurried our asses home. Jack and I were both confused as to why a simple cup of soda got them to give up on their plans. Then we found out what actually happened. While we were panicking, Pat kept his cool. He nonchalantly dumped his drink and slipped a big-ass rock into his cup. Then he waited for the right moment. The driver, thinking that this kid had just thrown a drink at him, wound up getting pegged in the head with a rock. It probably knocked him out cold, or it at least bought us enough time to put some distance between us. All that was left after that was pulling off a miracle and getting the rock to hit. Maybe a guardian angel or God himself took care of that. I'm still amazed by it. Moral of the story, kids, don't panic when you're in a tight spot. If you lose your cool, you lose the fight.
Jesus. They almost got abducted.
Yeah. This reminds me of that movie we watched, The Van.
Oh.
The Black Moon one.
The Black Phone.
The Black Phone.
Oh. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Black Van.
That one was an interesting movie.
That was an interesting movie. It was like a take on like a horror movie, kids getting abduction movie, paranormal movie.
It was like abduction and paranormal in one. Like
it was really good. Yeah,
it was pretty good.
It had a little bit of paranormal, but like a good paranormal.
It was. There were some scenes I was like, oh.
Yeah. But
spooked.
But they were spooky, but they weren't like trying to spook the main character.
Yeah.
It was like good paranormal, but still scary and spooky.
Yeah.
But in good tensions.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever almost been abducted?
No, knock on wood.
Yeah, same.
I don't have any stories like that, thankfully.
Yeah, me either. Thank God.
All right.
Back to me?
Yep.
Today I fucked up by accidentally wearing an insensitive Halloween costume. Today I fucked up actually happened several years ago. At my high school, dressing up on Halloween was a pretty big deal. Every year, our administrators had a massive costume contest for students and facility to participate in. There were several categories to enter in, like Best Couples Costume, Best Makeup, and Best Group Costume. Now, at this point in time, I was an active member on my school's cross-country team, and fairly good friends with several of its members. Since we were in season, 6 of us wanted to enter the Best Group Costume category with a running theme costume. I came up with the idea of dressing up as the Running Dead, a play on the name of the popular TV show The Walking Dead. We burned holes in old race t-shirts, distressed our running shorts, rubbed dirt all over our outfits, and applied fake blood and wound adhesives all over our bodies to play the part of decaying zombies. The finishing touch to our costumes was the addition of an old race bib to each outfit, making it clear that we were the Running Dead, not the Walking Dead. While we thought this idea was quite clever, it was actually the fuck up of my entire sophomore year. I shared first period math with one other girl who also participated in our group costume. So we showed up to class fully decked out. About halfway through the class, when we were working on our problem sets, our teacher approached us and quietly asked to speak to us outside. Immediately, we were worried that our costumes were too gruesome. After all, we applied fake blood pretty heavily. Our teacher looked visibly upset. As soon as we got outside, she exploded. I can't believe how insensitive your costumes are. It is so disrespectful to the victims of such a terrible tragedy. My friend and I, confused, asked her to clarify what she thought our costumes were. Now, we've left out an important detail of the story, which is that this was the Halloween of 2013. Our teacher proceeded to explain that she thought we were dressed up as survivors of the Boston Marathon bombing because of our running attire, race bibs, and general gore. The tragedy had happened earlier that year. Horrified, we passed the message to the rest of our teammates, who replied that they had also received comments from their students. We opted to take off our race bibs and removed a large part of our makeup at lunchtime. Needless to say, we did not win any prizes for the costume competition.
Jeez, that's rough.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I don't.
Really?
No.
As soon as the teacher got mad, I was like, yeah, I know. I know what they're looking like.
2013, I wasn't in school in 2013 anymore. I was done college. That would have been like my first year being an adult, being 19 or 20 or something.
I was 15.
I would have turned 20 that year.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So young.
Yeah, that sucks. But come on. I feel like after something like that happens, like maybe it's an honest mistake. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, It depends on how much. I guess it wasn't a big aspect to their life. Like maybe they weren't living in Boston, like how much.
I wasn't living in Boston.
Okay, but like sometimes, depending on how much your parents are into it, like it might not be a big focus on your mind. So it might there might not have been a lot of focus on it. So memorization of not to do something like that, but
that's fair.
That's a gray area.
My parents always grew up watching the news. The news was always on in my house.
Do you think it was bad after 9/11 to dress up as a pilot?
No, but come on.
Yes,
that's
way
so different.
Yeah, that's way different. I'm just trying to think. I don't know. Yeah, no, that just sucks. I don't know.
If you dressed up as a bloody pilot, that would be very insensitive.
Pilot zombie?
Can you imagine that same Halloween?
Yeah, that would be messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways. Okay. Am I the asshole for making my daughter return a Halloween costume? This happened in October and my daughter is still acting cold and hardly speaking to me. My daughter, female 16, works an after-school job 5 days a week. Her high school had a costume contest for Halloween. My daughter and her friends planned a group costume to enter. She went with her friends after school to buy costumes. I picked her and her friends up from the store and they showed me their costumes. My daughter spent $80 on hers. I was pissed. That's a lot of money to spend on something you're going to wear for a few hours. Very irresponsible use of money. I told her as much in the car, and I told her it was ridiculous. I dropped her friends off and took her back to the store to return her costume and accessories. Her friends found someone else to take her place in the group, and they won the contest and a $100 Visa gift card to split. My daughter came home from school on Halloween upset. She claimed she had to sit and watch while her friends had fun and she missed out on everything. I pointed out to her, after splitting the gift card, it was way less money than she spent on the costume, and it was only a few hours, but she didn't want to listen to me. Now a month later, and she is still moody and mostly ignoring me. My ex-husband told me I made her miss out, and she works so much that she missed out on so much stuff with her friends, and I could have just let her have this. But at the end of the day, I saved her $80. I'm just trying to teach my daughter how to be responsible with money. She could have gotten a cheap costume, especially since she would have only worn it for a few hours. Am I the asshole?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
One, did she say that her daughter works? And
yeah,
that she
5 days a week.
Paid with her own money?
Yep.
Okay, then you're a fucking asshole. You have no rights. Now, if she's spending $80 of your money, whoa, honey, you're not buying that. This is your budget if this is your money. She went, she worked on her own. You're not even teaching her anything at this point. You're just teaching her to hide things from you. That's all you're teaching her, is to hide things from you.
Exactly.
She spent her own money on it. She worked for it, and then she knew what she wanted. And you gotta be, money savvy in life. Cool. But also, like, you only live once, and why ruin that for her? Like, You can have a good Halloween. They won. Good theme. camaraderie with their friends and everything. It's her money. Let her do what she wants. You want to teach your kid about save money thing, then teach her to like save. Next time that it comes up, use that as an example. If something comes up in the future and she can't afford it, be like, well, honey, this is a good thing. Like at the time I recommended to get a cheaper Halloween costume and now you don't have the money for it. Then you can use that as a teaching example. But when she worked herself, you forced her to return something that wasn't your money. It was her money. That was just bad parenting, I think. But what the hell do we know? We don't have kids.
No, I agree. I will say, like, I feel like my parents were also very, like, hard on me with money. Like, they always wanted me to save. And even when I had been working since I was 13. But, like, if I spent a lot of money on expensive stuff, like, I did feel like I had to hide it from them.
Yeah, I feel like you can try as a parent to explain why you think it's a bad idea and stuff, but they have to learn for themselves.
I agree. It doesn't do anything but just create resentment.
That's all it does.
Yeah.
You need to be like, okay, well, how much do you have in your savings? Okay, well, if you spend this much, is there anything that you want to do in the future that you might want for that money? Mm-hmm. And if you want to teach them to do good with them, when they get their first job and they're living at home, when they get their paychecks, since you're the parent, help them put 50% of their paycheck into a savings account. Like, they don't have any bills. So it's like, teach them that as soon as they get their paycheck, they save money right away. And then they have a pile of, I can spend on whatever I want money. And if she has enough to get the $80 costume with her whatever I want money, then she can. Not everything has to be saved.
Mm-hmm. Top comment. You're the asshole. Congrats. You just strained your relationship with your daughter for $80 that weren't even yours. Hope it was worth it.
100%.
Yep. Overall vote was asshole.
Yeah, I could see that.
Shame.
Definitely asshole.
Shame.
My mom never really controlled what I spent my money on. She just tried to keep teaching me more ways to make money.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay, back to me.
Yes.
Okay, this is my last one. I saved my best one for last.
Ooh.
Yeah. This one's coming from Best of Redder Updates. Am I the asshole for kicking my boyfriend's girl best friend out at my Halloween party because of her costume? Before I get into the story, there's a blurb at the top of it. It says, since this post involves pumpkins, today's fun fact to cover up spoilers is about pumpkins. The world's heaviest pumpkin weighed 2,600 pounds. Pumpkins are 90% water. Every part of the pumpkin is edible.
Even the little top thing?
I guess so.
What the heck?
All right. Hi.
Sorry. I was just going to say, I loved when we lived with Kat. Because when we carved pumpkins.
Yeah.
I think we did it twice. We would always
pumpkin seeds.
make the pumpkin seeds. I never did that growing up.
I wonder if we'll do that with Madison.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Hi, everyone. I'll cut to the chase. I, 19 female, had a Halloween party over the weekend. I invited my boyfriend, 21 male, and a bunch of our friends over, including his girl best friend. I will call her Agatha. My boyfriend and I had decided to dress up as Peter Pumpkin Eater. If you haven't seen the costume, the guy wears a shirt that says Peter, and the girl dresses as a pumpkin because, well, you know. I was pretty excited just because I thought it was really funny and a cute costume.
That's funny.
Agatha texted me the night before the party and asked what my costume was going to be. I explained the couple's costume my boyfriend and I would be wearing, and she replied that she would probably come as a sexy cat. Fast forward to the night of the party. Everyone is having fun and a nice time. Well, it was until Agatha walked in dressed as a pumpkin. She went over and hugged my boyfriend. I swear the room went silent. I was pissed. I asked if I could speak with her privately, and we went into my bedroom. I asked why she chose that costume since she knew the details of the joint costume between me and my boyfriend. She said that she didn't see the big deal and thought it would be a better group costume. I told her I didn't think it was funny and I would prefer that she change. I offered her a witch costume that she could borrow for the night. She turned red and started to yell that I don't get to control what she wears. I told her that she was disrespecting my relationship by insinuating that my boyfriend and her have sex. She kept screaming about how it was funny and I needed to lighten up. I ended up asking her to leave. She stormed out of the house and I returned to the party. The mood had shifted and the night felt ruined. My boyfriend agrees that she crossed the line and is planning on cutting her off completely. But a few of our friends are saying that I was being dramatic and I should have let her stay. I guess I'm just wondering, am I the asshole?
No. This one triggered me. Hee hee. This is why I don't agree with guys having girl best friends. This is weird.
Yeah, this is weird.
Nine times out of 10, they're going to have feelings for you.
Right?
I'm not okay with this. Not even in the slightest. That's crazy. That is so crazy. How embarrassing. How embarrassing to look like the other woman.
So there's an edit or a reply to a comment about moving forward. We are currently texting about how to move forward. He wants to completely cut her off because of this. It was completely out of character, so I'm wondering, could it be a one-time thing? She has never shown interest before, and she has normally been really kind. Sometimes people make mistakes, like me blowing up completely, but I'm letting him make the decision completely on his own. I'm not pushing him one direction or the other. It really seems like he is done with the friendship and with whoever said I was wrong.
Good. I love that. I love that, man.
So this was on October 30th, and there is an update. There's an update coming November 17th. He is no longer friends with her. She showed her true colors and they are no longer speaking. And then another update comes February 21st.
Whoa.
3 months later. Well, I have an update. I meant to post one a few months ago, but I really needed time to process the events that occurred after this whole ordeal. I'm glad I waited though, because you all need to hear this one. Many people pointed out that my boyfriend must be sleeping with Agatha, since she went absolutely bonkers for seemingly no reason. I thought since he immediately took my side and blocked her on everything that you were wrong. Well, it was me who was wrong. Turns out that Agatha and my boyfriend had been sleeping together for months, and they were just really good at hiding it, until she decided that she didn't want to be his mistress anymore. I found this out when I was at home hanging out in his room. He was showering after workout and I heard this vibrating noise. He had taken his phone and mine was right next to me, so I couldn't figure out what it was. I opened the bedside table drawer and found a second phone. My gut told me that something wasn't right. Why would he have a second phone? It didn't take me very long to guess his password. Turned out to be 1234. My fears were confirmed. There was a missed call from Agatha. I looked through the messages and found out the truth. Not only had they been sleeping together, but she recently found out that she was pregnant. This was the reason she pulled the stunt on Halloween. She was trying to force his hand. I also saw that he was messaging other girls as well. I was completely devastated. After his shower, he found me grabbing all my belongings and putting them in my bag. He asked why I was leaving, and I told him because we were finished. I threw his phone on the bed, and he looked like he was going to vomit. He started pleading with me to hear him out, but I didn't want to hear it. He could have all those other girls. I didn't want him anymore. He followed me out of the house, shaking and crying. He even followed me all the way out to my car, trying to block my path. I went over the grass around him and didn't look back. He sent me a long message about how he never wanted to hurt me, that he wanted me back, and how he is using his work phone to text all of these women so I wouldn't find out. That was really helpful. I sent his boss a nice little message about how company property was being misused, and I saw on LinkedIn he no longer works for that company anymore. He is blocked on everything now. I hope him and Agatha have a magical life with their baby. Oh, I heard through the grapevine that he got one of the other women pregnant too. I'm glad I dodged that bullet. As for me, I am currently in therapy working on my trust issues and learning how to love again after this situation. I've been putting myself out there again and have cut contact with anyone who knew what was happening behind my back. Thank you all for the love and support.
I just love a good karma story. Not karma, what's it called? Yeah, karma. This is karma.
That's crazy.
Ah. That's wild. Wild! Yeah. Guys, this is what I said. Guys and girls cannot be friends.
Right? Unless you're work,
I know.
Unless you're work friends.
Yeah, unless you're Chloe. I just know all the comments are going to be like, that's not true. That's not true. Well, whatever.
Yeah, well, check your friendship.
That's my truth.
These stories say otherwise.
Yes. Wow. That's crazy. I'm glad she dodged that bullet. It's like, you're doing all of this for what? For what? Did you really think it was just going to go on forever?
People don't think.
No shame.
Just do it as long as they can.
Multiple women pregnant.
Second phone.
Disgusting.
Dude doesn't know what a condom is.
Vile. Oh my god. He's probably not having sex with condoms.
No.
And he's probably having sex with her.
Yeah.
Bye.
Get an STD check.
For real. All right. I got 2 stories left, but one of them
can go to Patreon.
Yeah. I'll let you choose.
Okay.
They both come from true scary stories. One is slightly more scarier than the other. One is titled College Secret Society. Other one is called Why I Don't Play with Ouija Boards Anymore.
Let's do Why I Don't Play with Ouija Boards Anymore.
Okay.
And we'll save the other one for Patreon.
Okay.
Bonus episodes every Friday on Patreon. If you guys want to help support the show, join our Patreon. Join it. You don't know what you're missing out on. Great episodes every week. We're up to 21 episodes on there. So you can binge it or you can listen to the new ones. If you are listen to all of our content or you just want to support us a little bit more, you can check us out on Patreon.
Thank you. Mom, if you're listening, this is a scary one. You should probably drop off now. She doesn't like the scary ones. No, don't leave me here by myself.
I need my safety
of my mask. No, don't leave me here by myself.
I need the safety of my mask.
Okay. Why I don't play with Ouija boards anymore. There will be 2 stories here. The first one is super creepy, and the second more sad / more of an explanation as to why I no longer participate. I want to preface this by saying I grew up seeing ghosts, so the whole topic of spirits wasn't new to me. However, I was so scared by them that around the time I was 7 or 8, when the energetic system starts to be solely individualized, I trained my brain to not see them anymore. I never talked about it with friends, as my family never believed me, so I assumed they wouldn't either. The first story takes us back to the 2000s. I was a little girl celebrating my friend's birthday. She always had a Halloween party to celebrate because that's when her birthday happened to be. She always talked about how her basement felt weird and she didn't like staying down there alone. Well, having 10 or so 10-year-old girls sleeping over on Halloween night isn't exactly bedroom material, so her mom and grandma set us up in the basement. There, we played those weird games like light as a feather, stiff as a board, and stuff. Fun fact, I was the only one who successfully levitated. I remember opening my eyes. Did you ever play that?
No, what the fuck?
I remember that game, but it never worked.
What?
I remember opening my eyes and I was damn near at the ceiling. It was spooky. When some of us started to get tired, we brought out the Ouija board. A few of our friends were spooked, so they didn't want to participate. We asked innocent questions like kids usually do. Who is the birthday girl going to marry? How old are we going to be when we have kids? Stuff like that. I remember I asked a question about myself and it replied, dead, which was weird. Some of the girls got spooked even more by that. Then a girl screamed and said she saw something behind me in the mirror. We stopped after that. For a few hours, 3 of us, including me and the birthday girl, couldn't sleep. We weren't sure if the board was real or not, so we decided we'd try one more time while everyone else was asleep, thinking that since they didn't want to play, it'd be better that way. We were close to 3 a.m., which we heard is the witching hour. Remember here that we are about 10 or 11 years old, dumb and have no idea what we're doing or who we're talking to. We asked the board if it could do something for us. We said at 3:15 a.m. to have the girl who saw something in the mirror wake up and say something to us. It was over 15 years ago, so I don't remember what we asked for this girl to say. All I know is we asked for her to look into the mirror and say it. 3:15 a.m. was about 20 minutes or so from when we asked the question. I remember us saying goodbye to the board and putting it away. The 3 of us were talking about how impossible our ask was when 3:15 a.m. hit. We knew it hit 3:15 a.m. because her basement had a big grandfather clock that didn't ring anymore, but the clock function still worked. We were waiting and waiting, and right before the time changed to 3:16 a.m., it happened. The girl shot straight up out of her blankets and looked straight into the mirror with her eyes closed. She whispered what we asked her to say, then dropped to her pillow like nothing ever happened. We all just looked at each other, frozen. No other girl that was sleeping stirred. None of them moved, not 1 centimeter. We were so freaked out that we didn't sleep until the sun came up. And in October in the Midwest, that was pretty late. We got 3 hours of sleep tops that night. This was my first ever Ouija board experience, and that changed the way I viewed spirits forever. I still think about it and feel guilty that I basically asked for one of my friends to be possessed. Needless to say, don't ever do that.
Fuck that.
Our second story comes in nearly a decade after the first. I was a senior in high school and one of my cheermates invited the whole team to celebrate her birthday. I didn't know it, but she had a Ouija board. She brought it out and I said, nope, not a good idea. I guess her grandma had just died and she was really torn up about it. I was very adamant that this wasn't a good idea and that we don't know if what we're talking to would be her grandma or not. She promised me she'd just try it twice and then she put it away. By this time, I knew a lot more than I did back during my first experience. I told her, "You're scaring me. What are you doing with your head tilt? Stop it." I told her that she must say goodbye each time the girls rotated, and I had them put salt around the board to keep whatever they were talking to inside the board, and so no one would or could get possessed. They tried it at least 4 times with different girls every time, and the planchette didn't move once. They all laughed at me for how scared I acted earlier, saying that the board is stupid and it doesn't actually work. I got kind of annoyed because some of them knew about my experience. I had shared it to the few who were already hesitant about the board when it was brought out. I said, "Know what? I'll do it, and I'll prove to everyone here that the boards are real." It was me, the birthday girl, who was a class below me, and 2 other girls from my class who joined the team for our senior year. We put our fingers on the planchette and did the 3 circles to begin. I asked who we were talking to, and the planchette moved for the first time that night. The 2 girls in my class were huge skeptics. They said, of course it would move when I just said I'll prove it's real. They accused me of moving it. But the information that came out was information I never knew until they connected the dots for me. The board first goes to letter J, then the letter R. We were all confused because JR isn't a name, or a name of anyone we knew. Or so we thought. We then asked why they were here, and the board spelled friend. We asked again, who is this? And the board spelled JR. We then asked, what does J stand for? And the board spelled out JONAT. And one of the girls from my class screamed, "No way!" We all looked at her in confusion. She said, "Is this Jonathan Raymond?" The planchette immediately moved to yes. The 2 girls sat so quietly and just waited. The birthday girl asked who JR was, and the girl started to explain. JR was a guy who was in the class above me. I knew of him, but nothing about him personally. I had been cheering at our school all 4 years, so I knew him from football team. That was about all I knew about him. He had passed our sophomore year, his junior year, due to his car exhaust. He didn't want to wake his parents after driving home from a party in the middle of winter, so he slept in his car with the car in the garage. His parents found him the next morning. I remember it totally ripped apart his class. I remember his friends not showing up to school for at least 2 weeks out of grief. We had a big celebration on the football field in the spring. Back to the Ouija board situation. The 2 girls in my class were panicked. They looked at me weird and I said, well, it must be him coming through. They said no, that it's impossible because the board doesn't work and that I'm making all this up and moving the planchette. They said I was a horrible person for impersonating JR, and I said I wasn't because I truly wasn't. I said, let's keep going and see what comes up. I knew they were friends of his and could validate the information that comes through. They reluctantly agreed and feverishly asked a few more questions. They asked what his football number was. The planchette moved to 2 numbers, and the 2 girls were in shock. I looked at them questioningly because, again, I didn't know this about him. It had been 2 years since he passed, and I had no idea what his number was. I couldn't even remember which number the assigned player I had a few months before had. Then they asked what color car he had. The board answered red, which was true. I at least remembered the picture they had for his celebration was him and his red car because he had left his car. They then asked who his best friend was, and I definitely had absolutely zero idea who that would be. Again, we had similar friends. We were at the same places at the same time occasionally. But I never once spoke to the guy, and our mutuals didn't really talk to me about him because we really didn't have anything in common other than friends in the football/cheerleader team type of occasions. The board spelled out his best friend's name. The guy was the only guy in our school with that first name, but we asked for the last name just to see if it would spell it correctly, and it did. The girls didn't even say goodbye. They flung the board at me. They called me a liar, saying I made it all up. They were sobbing and screaming at me. It made me so uncomfortable. I was nothing but the tuner, the instrument which opened the veil for them, and they thought I was an awful person. The whole team fell silent, and I just left due to discomfort. Even though I had been captain of our team and had cheered with majority of those girls for at least 3 years, majority of them didn't talk to me, even at practice, for at least 2 weeks. So many of them thought I was either crazy or disgusting. Only a few of them understood that I wouldn't have known that based on who I was friends with at school and who I actually hung out with. JR and I never truly crossed paths for conversations until that night, if it was actually him, that is. I think it was, but I do know that spirits can pretend to be someone and read our thoughts/memories with them. I don't use Ouija boards anymore because you never know who you're going to get or who you're going to piss off, even if it works. Now, I am a practicing energy reader and medium, so all of this type of stuff in my life has taught me about how to further connect in a safe way behind the veil.
No, I'm done. I'm out. I want no part of this.
Spooky.
Oh, that's creepy.
I will never fuck with a Ouija board.
Not after that Ouija board movie. I'm not fucking with no Ouija board.
Yeah, I would never, ever.
No me piace.
Keep that away from me.
Oh, all right. Oh, this has been a good episode.
Yeah, a little bit of spooky, a little bit of casual Halloween fun.
Classic Halloween fun. Hope you guys enjoyed on YouTube our spooky theme here because it's time to go back into a box.
Are we keeping it for survival stories?
Why?
I don't know.
We don't need to.
I guess it's being released 2 days before Halloween.
Unless you want to.
I guess we'll see.
It's up to you.
We'll see.
Okay.
Maybe I'll have Christmas decor up.
Yeah. Well, if you guys enjoyed this episode, don't forget to drop a comment down below. Check us out on YouTube. Smash the like button. Check us out on Patreon if you want more stories, more bonus stories. And if you guys want to support the team here at ThreadTalk Podcast, our merch is now live at
we have merch!
ThreadTalkPodcast.com.
I just got my hat that arrived. It's so cute. It's like this baby blue. It's a cutie little hat. And I also got a crew neck. And it's really nice. It's like really thick. Mm-hmm. We wanted to make sure that the quality of the stuff was good before
very happy
we made the website live. And yeah, we're very happy with the quality.
If you need a t-shirt or a hoodie or some sort of clothing and you want the Thread Talk logo on it, hit us up. We appreciate all of your support. We are going to do a giveaway for our pillowcases.
Yep.
We got the pillowcases, so we're going to give a pillowcase away. If you would like to get a Thread Talk pillowcase, all you got to do is just drop a comment on YouTube. Well, if you're listening on Spotify, head over to our YouTube channel, find this video. What is this, episode 48? Smash the like button on it, and then just drop a comment saying, you want to enter, because there's a website that makes it really easy for me to just do a raffle out of the commenters and pick one comment to win, and then we'll reach out and we'll get your shipping info and we'll ship you off a pillowcase.
Yep. And then we'll also be doing a raffle for our Patreon members. Patreon
too. We're going to start doing some raffle for Patreon. So if you want a little bit of extra motivation for you guys to join our Patreon, not only to get the bonus stories, you can also get another second bonus entry into another raffle. So yeah. You got any life updates?
I guess, what's everybody doing for Halloween? This coming weekend is Thanksgiving. In Canada.
For us it's exciting. It's Thanksgiving. The time this airs, that'll be like 2 weeks later because we're a little bit ahead of schedule.
We're kind of batching because we're busy the next couple weekends.
Normally we film on the weekends, but now on Saturday we have Thanksgiving to go to. And then Sunday we have a car drifting event. I'm taking the BMW to.
Big life update.
Luna has her cone off.
Luna's coneless!
Yeah, she's not in the episode because we got spooky set up, but we took Luna's cone off, went there this morning, and she said her eyes looking good, and she has been a happy little girl. She can clean herself.
It's been 4 long weeks.
She cleaned
Poor
her,
girl.
She like binge cleaned herself and then she puked up a hairball.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was really scary because yesterday, we just went to the vet this morning, and yesterday, we saw her on the couch, coneless.
But like
And
napping very peacefully.
I nearly had a heart attack. I was shooketh. I was like, Luna, what the heck are you doing without the cone on you? I was so scared. I was so worried. I was spiraling. I thought that she was going to have to get another surgery because we didn't know how long she needs to keep the cone on. We've been going to the vet like every 10 days-ish after the surgery. And they were saying like, keep it on until we see her next and, you know, see how the progress is. And I was like, these people are going to think that we are the worst cat parents ever. And I was like, she's going to have to get another surgery. Our insurance didn't get it approved yet. I'm like, I'm spiraling. So she's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really, really happy to be coneless and just back to her natural self. So yeah, this weekend we have Thanksgiving.
You know what's even better than the food at Thanksgiving?
What?
Baby Andrew's gonna be there.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
We FaceTimed him this morning.
Yeah, he's so cute.
He's
Precious.
so cute. And guys, I don't normally like babies. I actually don't like babies at all.
You're like anti-baby.
I am anti-baby. I don't find them that cute. But Andrew, there's something about him.
He's a gem.
That twinkle in his eye, he's so perfect.
He is.
He's not even my blood.
No.
So I can't even say that I'm biased because he's not.
You're just an in-law.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what else?
That's all I got.
We're not actually doing anything for Halloween this year. We're just we just bought these costumes for you guys.
This is our Halloween.
Happy Halloween. We should.
What?
I want to go trick-or-treating.
Let's break out these costumes.
No, I can't wear this.
Same.
You definitely cannot wear that.
I can't. This helmet has been not comfortable at all. If you have seen these helmets on TikTok and they talk about how cool they are and stuff, and look at the helmet, it goes, makes a sound and it goes
so
up
annoying.
and everything. It's not worth the cost that this thing is. It fits uncomfortable. It's so not worth it.
And it's just annoying, but like the noise, I don't know. I feel like I'm literally just overstimulated because of this wig and this costume.
I love the noise.
But
the
the
best
noise, it's like right in my ears. You're not wearing headphones, but
it's
you're
right
gonna have
in
to
my
lower.
ears too. It's in my ears.
I guess.
And on my ears.
That's fair.
All right. Thank you guys so much for your support. We appreciate it like always. Hope you guys enjoyed this Halloween episode. And next week is going to be survival stories. So yeah, the first time in our show's history we've had like a lineup. We knew what we were doing for October.
Yeah.
And then after survival stories, we're going back to not knowing what it's going to be.
Yep. Drop some recommendations down below in the comments.
Yeah. We'll see you next Tuesday or maybe Friday.
See you next Tuesday. Haha.
Bye.
Bye.